Alright, we're in wonderful Chandler today. Taking a look at a 1,400 square foot home. Gonna do the usuals, get started at the water meter box here. It's gonna open today. We'll see. So those water meters need a little bit of solar power to get going. So once you clean them off a little bit, they usually fire right up. So I want to make sure this guy isn't moving. Make sure we don't have any type of water leaks between here and the house. And we're definitely using some water. You can see that meter moving. I do have the dishwasher on right now, so I'm anticipating that that is why. Look at all this grass that's growing in here. Get cleaned out. This box would open a lot better. Alright, so I like to get started on the side without a fence. Get started on the northeast corner. Started right down here. I typically expect to see a drainage swale drain right there. We've got some grounding connected to the water line there. I can't get this hose off, so I'm not going to be able to test the pressure at this location. I'll find another hose to be able to check it out. So we've got ventilated soffits. Fascia actually looks really nice today. Nice and clean. Likely had a fresh paint job on it. So I'm looking down here at a negative grade on the front of the home, or a faulty grade, because it goes up and just about touches the weep screed. Gotta see 2 inches below that. Little courtyard in here. Typically we would have a kickout flashing right at that location to help direct water away from the stucco so it doesn't go into the stucco wall. Here we just got some expansion joint material that's been stuffed in there, and as the concrete expands and contracts, it gets pushed up and wears down over time. They decided to paint it instead of taking it out. You can get some self-leveling sealant or caulking to go down in that. Put some backer rod in there first and then top it off with some self-leveling caulking. This side actually looks pretty good. You can see it's pretty even all the way around until you get to where the moisture gets to it. So once that stuff gets wet, it blows up. We just had some concrete. It's not part of the foundation. It looks like some of the stucco blew over onto the foundation there when they made it. They built the house. Checking the vents, checking in for any damage to the stucco. It's kind of a shiny paint. Doesn't look like a typical painted application. This could be a specific type of paint meant for stucco, meant for keeping the house cool. I can't confirm that without seeing a paint can and watching the guy apply it, so you'll have to talk to the seller about it. This area looks like it might have been re-stuccoed at some point. Can't have vegetation touching your house, not in Arizona, because we have termites and they use those to get into your property. So we're actually looking at some of the grading around here. The sidewalk looks like it's got pretty typical good grade away from the home, but we've got a built-up area over here, so water doesn't really get to go out there. So you really got to make sure that water can travel to the front of your house along this sidewalk, so it gets away from that area by the front door. We just got excessive cellulose debris next to the foundation. Termites are going to dig into this stuff and love it too. Everything that's touching the home and everything that's dead material or wood material needs to get going. Shouldn't be next to the house. Checking the driveways, the walkways, looking for cracks, shifting, settlement. Nothing crazy. A little bit of a crack there. Quite often now we'll install these sidewalks right here with a drain, so anything that builds up in there will drain out. Minor cracking in the sidewalk right next to the grass, usually contributed to watering. All that moisture gets underneath the slab and makes the slab a little bit soft, or I mean makes the dirt underneath the slab a little bit soft, so the slab settles. I didn't see any plumbing cleanouts at the front of the property today. They could be underneath these bushes. Doubtful. Probably be in this area if they are installed. Garage door open and closed fine on the inside. Safety devices were working. Disconnected it and opened it up manually without an issue. On the northwest side of the property, we have the electrical panel. 200 amp service. Looks like the only thing they've really done is maybe a little bit of work on the microwave, maybe a little bit of work on the bar. All the rest of these circuit breakers look original. Always wear the proper PPE around electrical panels. Rubber boots, safety glasses, gloves, all the above is recommended. And especially if you're working in a wet area on the ground, you want to make sure you have rubber boots. You don't want any current to go through your body if you accidentally touch something that's live. It'll just try to ground through you into the ground. Nothing crazy going on with the electrical panel today. It's a little tricky to get this in here without getting it too far back. Be careful not to touch those hot wires. Line it up, slide this screw back in, continue our inspection. So you can see some of the concrete there moving around when I shake the wall. It's loose in there. This whole pilaster is loose. It needs to be re-cemented to the house wall. Just don't want somebody pushing it over. There's not much holding this wall up because it's right where the gate is. If there was a lot more wall next to it, that would help hold it up a little bit better. But since that's the only one, if it gets pushed over the wrong way, or pushed a little bit too hard, it's gonna fall over. I don't think your gate's gonna work today. A little bit short. Yeah, that's really close there. Probably need a little bit of adjustment there to make that work better. But you are retaining a little bit of moisture in your sidewalk on the side of the house here. A little bit of water ponding. It did rain last night, so I'm not surprised to see this, but we can see some of the older stains of the water doing the same thing. So this is a common occurrence for this area to get a lot of moisture from the roof and drops right on this sidewalk. Surprisingly, there's hardly any damage to the sidewalk though. Walkway looks great. Again, with the bush next to the plant, or next to the house, too close. Be careful of those fire sticks. Yeah. That's how you tell you got fresh paint. When you got a plant next to the house that has paint on it. Keep checking for termite tubes. Go to the back corner here, get a picture. A little bit more water ponding down on the floor. You can see a concrete repair made right there. It probably settled near the house, so they wanted to build it up to get the drainage back. Got an awning, manual awning. A little bit breezy out today, so I don't want to keep it down too far, but it's like it's doing what it needs to do. This will be on the southwest elevation, so it's going to be a big benefit to stop some of the sun coming in the summertime. And we do have a doggy door, cat door. It's pretty cool. It's just like a window on the inside. You can just slide it up and down as you want, and it actually locks. So I really like this design. There's hardly any cracks or movement. It's small enough that no person, most people aren't going to get in there. Patio cover looks good. I haven't been able to turn this fan on today. There's a pull cord up there, but it doesn't turn the fan on. Quite a bit of character in this little backyard. Little golf course or putting green. Little bridge to walk over. Probably break it. Alright, so we've got our hose bib. Hey, I needed that gasket. Let's put that in there. There we go. So water pressure at the back of the house, just a little bit over 70 psi. Anything over 80, we would recommend a pressure regulator. Pretty common to have higher pressure in Arizona. Checking the foundation wall. Stucco damage, and we got some a little bit of peeling going on at the soffit vent. That's going to indicate some moisture up there at some point. Probably a roof leak. When we get up to the roof, we'll have to verify if there have been repairs made. You can tell they did some stucco work when they put the windows in. Same thing with the foundation here. We need to get a little bit more foundation visible, and this wood closet pushed up to the house is a no-no. Termites could tunnel right up through this board, right up through here, right into your house. and you'll never see them. That's why we have to write this up. Shouldn't touch the home at all. Oh, look at the little golf clubs. Got a little wood. See any termites or signs of termites over here? Looks good. Let's get up on the all right. Concrete tile roof. A little bit of cracking on that tile. Nothing crazy. So this is where I would recommend to put a angle kickout flashing. Sorry, kickout flashing would go right here, but it is tucked underneath this roof surface, so it's not as big of an issue. These bottom right corners are going to crack a lot on concrete tiles. They're called shifting cracks. Pretty common. That bottom right corner is the least supported corner out of all of them, so it cracks out first. Here we've got a little bit of a mortar cap crack. Same with up on top. Just over time that concrete's gonna shrink a little bit as it gets cold, expand a little bit when it gets warm. Got a broken tile here that's not a huge deal because it's not protecting what's below. Look at the condition of that asphalt shingle in through here. So this is where the HVAC company is going to use this little walkway to get up to your HVAC equipment to service it. Here we've got a PVC line running through the roof for the condensate. Kind of worried about this little angle here. You're missing a shingle there to hold everything down, but at the same time I can't see what's below these, and you're getting a lot of water directed underneath those shingles right now. A couple more broken tiles. So we're looking at American Standard, which is Train 2021 3-ton unit. For the size of the house, it's perfect. We do have some exposed conduit. Machine is nice and clean, almost new. Take a look at the roof down here. Metal roof. Another broken tile. So all these fasteners that are exposed above the roofing material have to be sealed with caulking eventually, otherwise they're going to bleed water through. So every couple of years you should come up here and re-caulk these. Different kind of colored tiles there for some repair work done on the side. Vent flashings look secure. Let's take a look at this alignment. dirty, a little bit wore out. Another cracked tile. Well, with the amount of cracked tiles up here, we're gonna have to recommend a roofer. At which point we'll recommend that the roofer provide an estimate for a replacement of the underlayment as well, just so they know what it's going to cost. I didn't see any areas that were necessarily leaking water over there, but with moisture signs on the eave, it's going to be hard to trace that back to where the actual leak is occurring without removing some of the tiles. So this house is a little bit different. There is an attic access above the laundry. That's going to require me to stand on this to get up in there. Because I'm lightweight, I think I'll be able to do it without damaging anything. Let's see what I got. There's another attic access out in the garage. Well, it's going to be really hard for all of you to see, but I'll upload the pictures in the video. We've got a dryer duct just right above the dryer here with a bunch of duct tape on it. Going up and out of the roof, a bunch of bat insulation tucked in between these two cavities, so this is actually tried to be an insulated room right here. So there's gaps in the insulation over there. Insulation between the rafters, which is actually not how you're supposed to do it anyway, has failed and dropped down into the attic. You can see some PEX lines over there. The blue is the PEX. Yeah, without getting up in here, it's going to be difficult to assess. And that main air return duct. Duct tape? No, it's not what duct tape is for. It does not go in the attic in Arizona. It will dry out, it will crack, it will break, it will fall off. And it's up in the attic, so you'll never know about it. So I'm probably going to get more access out of the garage. Access hatch. Let's get out there. The black hole. Alright. Let's see what the black hole has in store. Go. Ladder. The ladder positioned correctly, and let's check this out. Got some hanging monkeys in here. Guy's a Raiders fan, so if that tells you anything. Jeez, a bunch of stuff up here. All this, light globes, water kennel, fan, old dishes, Bunch of boxes, bunch of crap preventing me from going that direction. Let's see if I can get this way. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff up here. Old suitcases, old furniture. Tons of old boxes. Alright, so the bedrooms, we're missing a couple closet doors on this bedroom. Some cork here for like a tack cord. Big desk in the way, but I can see all the way around it. I don't see any issues. No light kit installed. Paint job is so-so. You can tell different colors of white paint in different areas of the house. So they're probably trying to patch some stains, patch some discolored areas. Now, because there's no light kit, we've got an outlet that's right side up, that's connected to your light switch at the room. So the bottom is going to stay hot all the time, and the top is going to be connected to the switch. I'm running into a lot of these outlets at the house that are pretty loose, and I've been trying to tighten up as much as I can, but you can see how much that electrical box moves around. It's a loose outlet, it needs to be replaced, or at least tightened up. But because they painted these, scratch this faceplate. Anyway, it's not my job to fix that. It needs to be tightened up. I'd do it if I could, if it wasn't a big pain in the butt. Windows, wonderful today. Now they do slide. We've got some sliders. We've got some single hung windows. They all have little locks on them, so that'll lock it when you're gone from home. Make sure nobody can get in. Slide that back to the side. Same with down here on the sliding window. It's got a lock right there. Just push that down and that'll lock your window out. The whole door has been removed from this room. I'm not sure if I mentioned that as we walked into it, but they took the door off. It's just kind of like an office den area. Got a cool little bar set up here. Now the wine fridge is not plugged in. I'll plug it in before the clients show up so you can see if it's doing anything. You've got some built-in lights, air filter, thermostat here. I cranked it up to 70 when I got here. We've been warm ever since. Windows are the same. They're working great today. Open and close, no problem. And the locks are working great. Even the sliding doors are working like butter. Recently replaced. Just push that down and lock them out. And we've got a light switch on this door and a light switch on that door that controls that exterior light. So you can turn it off from either bedroom. Now this is a little bit tricky. This outlet, because they switched all the outlets right side up, usually a half hot should be upside down, and then the bottom outlet is controlled by the switch. On this house, they've flipped all the outlets right side up. It's got power now, but if I turn this switch over here off, it takes away power from this. So this is your half hot right here. Old smoke alarm up on top, up on the wall. You don't have any carbon monoxide detectors, so I would recommend that you replace all the fire smoke detectors. Even consider upgrading them into all the bedrooms. And they must have been burning candles in here or something. You can see all the different colors of white and black up on the ceiling. Either that or they had a hard time covering up some dark paint. No issues here. They did a little bit of custom work on this cabinet. They illuminated the right side of this cabinet so they could give themselves some room for this fridge. Pretty cool. Laundry area, ran the dryer and the washer for a cycle, didn't see any issues, but the connectors back here, hot and cold connectors are very corroded, very dirty, and they're old gate valves, so I would recommend replacing those with standard red and blue quarter turn valves. Now the fan does work in here. If I can find the right light switch. Yeah. There it is. Fan does work in here, it's just not very powerful. It goes up and through the roof, but if it were me, I'd be upgrading this fan at some soon point down the road. Tile shower, tile surround, everything looks good. Your grout lines is all sealed. It looks beautiful today. Ran a shower for about 10 minutes. Have a little bit of tint up on the window. It's not recommended to tint them, but I know why people do it. I get it. No ventilation fan up on the ceiling. Your window is your only way to get ventilation out of here. So the sink, you're going to test functional flow by turning the sink on, turning the shower on. Look at the flow, make sure it's appropriate, and then you're going to flush the toilet and make sure that water doesn't change. So that water doesn't change. We've got good functional flow in this bathroom. Do that a couple times, make sure that everything is proper, and you're good to go. But the master bath, a little bit different setup. So we've got a dual shower in here. We've got one on the left, and we've got one on the right. And the one on the left does not work unless you have the one on the right on first. But if we leave that off, I'll show you what happens. We turn this one on. This is all the way on hot. It's all the way on cold. That's all we're getting out of this shower head. Not only is that low flow, but now that we can get water over here, that's low flow as well. And all the water is just dripping around the outside of the shower head and running out the back of it. So maybe if these shower heads were replaced, you'd have a little bit better pressure. In a situation like this, I would recommend a plumber because I'm not sure what the pipe conditions are. If I just recommend new shower heads, that might not fix the problem, and then you're stuck with thousands of dollars of repairs and copper plumbing in the walls that's maybe corroded out. Now this toilet is moving. The toilet shimmy proves it. Testing the sink. Make sure the drains are working. I ran the water up to the overflows to make sure the overflows didn't have any issues. Just a note to agents, a little bit on the toilet paper roll. Had a client the other day that had a grandma that came and visited the house during a walkthrough, needed to use the bathroom. There was no toilet paper. It's not a bad idea if you're trying to sell your house to put some toilet paper in here. I get it, you don't want people to be using the toilet for the wrong reasons. But sometimes people don't have a choice, they have to use the toilet. And without toilet paper, you just made your house fairly uninviting. So just be courteous. Think about other people, what they're going through when they're out driving around for hours on end on the weekend. You know, they gotta stop and use the bathroom somewhere too. And who knows, maybe they like your toilet better than all the rest of the toilets if they get to use it. So we've got a fan in the bathroom. Don't recommend this type of fan in the bathroom. You're drying off, you're raising your hands, towels in the air. You could throw a towel up in the fan blade and have that get caught, cause some damage, some accidents. But if it were me, I'd take that out and put an actual ventilation fan, take the wiring from that, connect it to an actual ventilation fan. No GFCIs in the kitchen, but we do have GFCI in the bathrooms, and both are connected to the hallway bathroom. Looks like they did a custom cabinet job in the closet and the main bedroom. Looks pretty cool. They put an electrical outlet in the closet. It is functional today. Here's what I'm talking about, that pet door. That's probably one of the coolest pet doors I've seen. Most secure. Just raise it and lower it. Come and go as they please. Bring them in for the night and you can keep the raccoons and coyotes outside. The outlets are dated. They're the original outlets. Again, we've got a little bit of loose Loose outlets. The older they get, the more worn out the plugs get too. So you plug stuff into it, sometimes it falls out. Main room, we did have the fan on earlier. It's controlled by this switch right here. That's dead on batteries. There we go. Fan's working, controlled by this switch. This is a dimmer switch for the dining area. Another ceiling fan in the kitchen. Don't recommend ceiling fans in the kitchen. If you get a fire in here and you've got this fan going, it's just pushing air all over the place. You get a small fire, it turns into a huge fire immediately. You're cooking something with grease here, all of a sudden the grease catches on fire a little bit. It's going everywhere, especially with that air blowing it. Dishwasher, ran it for a full cycle. Looks like it ran and drained properly. A little bit of buildup on the heating element down there. A lot of corrosion on the rack, both the top and the bottom rack. Most dishwashers come with a 2 or 3 year warranty on the rack and 5-10 year warranty on the drive components. This dishwasher, if you can tell, it's not secure in the opening. We need 2 screws that go up and mount that so it doesn't fall over. Under the sink, we've got a garbage disposal. It's working good today. No dishwasher high loop, so that little drain hose to the dishwasher needs to be hooked up top. We've got a little bit of previous damage under here that was covered up by vinyl tiles. I know there's water damage down there, and I don't need to pull it up to prove it. We can see it, we can smell it. That's what happens underneath the sink. Water damage. Checking the sink for caulking around the joint between the countertop and the sink. Looks good today. Hot and cold is backwards on this faucet. Depends on what you want, but we do recommend hot to be pushed to the back. Faucet head comes out, goes back up perfect. Again, like I said, no GFCI outlets, so these outlets in here that are close to the sink are not protected. So if you've got a crock pot or something plugged in and that gets wet, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to trip your breaker. Oven does not have a anti-tip device on the back of it. Like the stove and the oven were working good today, but we need some lubrication on the door. Nice and squeaky. So the fan and the light and the microwave are working good. Microwave worked good as well. The ventilation for this does go up and through the roof and outside. Now there is a little gap around the duct right at the cabinet that feels cool, so I'm probably getting some attic air coming through there. That should be patched up and sealed with the same type of tape that's on there now. Fridge, we've got some worn off buttons. You can see there's no power on it today. It's been unplugged. I'm not going to plug it in and test it. There is a water line behind the refrigerator. Most of the time refrigerators don't convey with the house, so I don't focus on it too much. Other than damage, ice makers are always broken. I've got to disclaim that I didn't test the ice maker because I don't have time to test it. It's an ice maker. You can't make ice in 5 to 10 minutes. Garage door closed automatically, which is what we like to see. Water heater over here in the corner. Now we would typically, current code would dictate that we'd have a concrete pillar right in front of this so we can't drive our car into it late at night. But we do have a TPR valve, TMP valve opening right here. Cold water shutoff valve. Hot water going back into the house. Usually all you have to do to tell what side it is, just feel it. This is way hotter than this side. Sure, hot and cold. No drain pan as well. So with a drain pan you could catch and divert any water that leaked, but honestly, you've got concrete floor, you've got a concrete stem wall on the side of the garage. If it's not elevated anyway, I don't see a point in putting a drain pan on it right now. You can see some previous repairs up in the corner. Some of the drywall patching. Doorbell transformer. Raiders fan. Can you believe it? All you Raiders fans are probably writing your comments to me right now. Come on, man. So we've got this late junction box cover plate in the garage. It's got some cracking around it. This is a fire barrier wall. We need to protect the inside of the house from fires that start in the garage. So I'd recommend just filling those in with some caulking. Phoenix Open, year 2000. So we do have a Chargers fan on this side, Raiders fan on this side. If you can tell the difference of the floor coloring, Charger, Raiders. See Raiders, 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 Chargers, Raiders. I'm sure it was fun on their house, living with them on the weekends. Another patch right here. It's just tape though. Oh, nice. I just about missed that. Big old hole in the wall just covered up with tape. You see that? Stinking duct tape too. Take a peek down in there, see if I can see any. I can see the insulation that they used on the garage walls. It didn't insulate the actual garage wall. That's pretty typical though. I wouldn't have saw that out here in the garage without a flashlight. And making these videos for you guys help me find that too. I might not have came back to that area. So thank you. A couple minor holes in the wall is not a concern of mine. These fluorescent lights though, really should have some covers over them so you don't accidentally hit it and you have glass falling on your face. So I wanted to get this heater going. The most proper way to check the heater is through an actual thermostat, but I can do a quicker check with a FLIR thermal camera, just a C3, pretty basic. It's just telling me temperature differences. So you can see the red areas are hot, blue areas are cold. Because it's cold out today and I got the heat cranked up in here, we should be able to see anything that sticks out. See all the hot air that's coming out of that register warming up the walls and the ceiling. And because we had rain not that long ago, I'll be able to check it for roof leaks. Sometimes the picture gets a little grainy, you gotta give it a minute to redo itself. Get it to change, calibrate. There we go. And we do have some cold spots around there, but we do have ventilated soffits, so we are going to be letting some air through. Blue spot right above us here. See the temperature goes from 64 to 70, right in that spot. This area too, see 63 degrees, move just a couple inches away and we've got 68 degrees, and we have 70 degrees right there. Oh, that's an actual duct in your attic, I believe, running through that wall. Usually bedrooms are a good place to find the water leaks from the roof because they're open, there's less appliances in the way. Nice red ceiling. Just trying to find any anomalies. Any big blue spots that would be indicating moisture. red areas are going to go back towards the heater vent. Right there, we got 109 degrees coming out. It's a heat pump up there, 1-year-old train unit, so 111 degrees is perfect, in my opinion. Vaulted ceilings, there's always a possibility of some missing insulation, like right there. I think that's the spot where because the attic hatch is right there. We're missing insulation right up there. That would make sense. Run through the bathrooms. Check underneath the sinks for any blue spots on the cabinets. It's red because I was using hot water. Check around the toilets for any leaks. I did spray a little bit of water around the shower on the floor, but it doesn't look bad. Looks great. Master primary bedroom. Ceiling fan. See these blue lines? Those are actually your truss boards up in the attic. They transfer more cold from the outside in. I got a really hot spot right there. Not sure if you can see that. 77 degrees in that one little spot. $78, $79 degrees. It's unusual up there. I'm not sure why that would be so warm. Water. I know I sprayed some water out here, so you can see that blue. There's a little water that sprayed from that when I was showing you how the shower worked. Water drains. This toilet's got a little bit of movement. We already talked about that. So it's great to verify that there's no moisture behind it. Contributed to that leak. There is a blue area, but like I said, I sprayed a bunch of water out from the shower. Yeah, it's not coming out directly from the toilet. So that about does it. I'm Home Inspector Dan with BPG Inspections, Phoenix, Arizona. If you need your home inspected, or you know somebody that's looking to buy a house in Arizona, I'd love to be able to help them out, educate them on their property. Basically what I do is I show up and give me a couple hours to go through a house, depending on the size and the age. And I have enough time to give you most of the information you're going to need to make a good purchase.